Hi everybody. How's everyone doing today? It's been a while since I made a video. I've been busy, It's been the holiday season and they're sort of coming to the end here. Not quite. I have Peanut with me. Hey Peanut. Peanut. Let's see. Oh. All right. Anyway, so the reason I'm doing a video today is I just wanted to share kind of some of my background. Hope that doesn't sound boring. And why I decided to actually do a podcast, why I wanted to share my voice, and do a YouTube channel, and just tell parts of my story, share a lot of what I've learned, as some of the psychic techniques that I've learned, mystical kind of stuff, because I have learned a lot through the years. I've been doing mystical training since, my lifetime has been about mystical training, but the real mystical training started, I think, when I moved to New York City. But I've always been kind of reading books and on a search for the mystic, Into the Mystic. I almost named my channel that, Into the Mystic. Instead, I'm the mystical ex-Mormon. It came to me when I was actually meditating, and I heard it in my head, and so I'm the mystical ex-Mormon, because being a Mormon has a lot to do with my story and some of the stuff that I share. And so starting with that, part of the reason why I'm doing it is being raised Mormon, and being a woman and a girl, being raised in the Mormon church, is that your voice really doesn't matter. Being raised Mormon, I mean, it's a patriarchal religion. The men matter. And so women are just supposed to get married and go have babies. That's your job. That's your purpose. If there are any other secondary purposes, maybe to have a career, it's secondary. It is not the most important thing. And yes, having children and having a family is incredibly important. But in the Mormon church, it's the only thing. And so you are raised with, you can't really share who you are. You smile a lot. You pretend that you're happy. And you do what you're told. You stay in line. Follow the rules. And literally, if you're not happy, just go pray some more, because you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. If you're not happy, you're not following the rules enough, and you need to go pray some more. So pray that pain away. And, prayer is a wonderful thing. It can work. There are many benefits to praying, like there are many benefits to meditation. So I just wanted to say that, yes, there are many benefits to it, but in the Mormon church, the only thing that is going to help is go talk to your bishop. Your bishop will tell you you're not following the rules enough. You need to be more into the works, as in whatever assignment you're given, to be part of the Mormon church and to follow the rules better, to know the rules better, to pray some more so that you can be happy. And there's a lot of fake smiling in the Mormon church. Very fake. Very fake. There's a lot of fakeness. So a lot of women feel marginalized, and they are not able to share their story. I grew up in a family where this is definitely part of the scenario. It's like the guy, the dad, the husband. My dad, very fanatical, very, very religious. You really don't have a voice. You don't get to say. And my mom, okay, so I grew up in a weird family. I've talked about this. I grew up in a really weird family and a bit unusual. My mom was deaf. She lost her hearing when she was 3 years old. She was 3 years old. Her and her brother both got rheumatic fever. They lost their hearing. And then she was orphaned. So she was never, well, she lost her mother right around the same time. So she never really got integrated into society. She could speak well because she was 3. So she already had some speech developed. But so she could communicate. You could understand her, but she was never very good at communication. In fact, she was terrible at communication. In fact, so terrible. My parents, they never taught us sign language. My mom was deaf. She spoke in sign language. They didn't teach their children sign language, which does not make any sense. But I think that speaks to how powerless that she felt around having her position and voice, her position in the family and her voice be heard. And maybe position in society too, because being in a deaf community, they're not heard. I'm not trying to be funny. They're not heard. They're not well integrated into society just by the nature of the handicap. So there were issues around that. So they never taught us sign language. So I never really communicated with my mother, and I never felt close to my mother. At some point, I remember about 3rd grade going, why am I trying? Why am I trying to communicate with my mother? I'm not seen or heard. Yeah, 3rd or 4th grade, something like that. I remember very specifically going, I'm done trying. And then my father had serious anxiety disorders, and you could feel when he was trying to communicate something, when he was trying to express himself, there was always this weird uncomfortability and uptightness that just emanated from his body. So he was never comfortable with himself. He was never comfortable communicating. He was not comfortable. I remember even being a kid, listening to him talking to his brothers and sisters like they'd come for a visit. And he's trying to express himself in a very clear way to his family. I think he would be comfortable. I remember him just always feeling uncomfortable and picking that up from him, like, oh, I don't want to feel that. Anyway, and then top it off, I had 3 siblings who had cystic fibrosis, who were sick. And my brother died when he was the oldest brother died when he was 5, and I was around 3. I think it was a little younger than that. But so there was kind of this sadness too on top of this family that was always there. And then my 2 other siblings, the youngest, Jana, and the oldest, Marlon. Then Marlon was the oldest, and I was next to Marlon in age. They had cystic fibrosis. So we grew up with them. We knew that they were going to die. They knew that they were going to die and not live very long. So there was just this energy on top of our house, on top of the home, that was just oppressive and sad. And it was really hard to get out from underneath that and feel just, I don't know, like a normal human being. And then the Mormon culture and the Mormon thing of repression that was in there too. Man, it was rough. And it was just a lot of stuff there. Always. And the thing is, so I wanted to be a ballet dancer. I wanted to dance. I wanted to be an artist. The core of my being wanted expression, but never really found proper expression in that home. And this is part of the reason why I am doing doing videos and telling some of parts of my story, is because, and this goes for a lot of Mormon women specifically, is they want to be heard. And I remember getting out of high school. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around, I know it. Okay, when I got out of high school, I remember thinking, oh, shit, what am I going to do? I mean, I have no clue. I had no clue. By this time, I got out of high school. Oh, there was so much chaos in our home. What was I doing for a living? Oh, I worked in a candy factory. I worked in a candy factory, just like I Love Lucy, like standing at a conveyor belt in a cold room, because they have their chocolates, so it has to be a certain temperature, putting candy on a conveyor belt, just like I Love Lucy. And you could eat as many as you wanted to, too. Me and my friend Jerry did that. I think that's how I met her, working at this place. But literally, we had no clue what we were doing in our lives. She didn't, I didn't, neither did my sister, who was right underneath, right below my age. We were all kind of lost. And I remember thinking, how am I ever going to live life? I don't know how to communicate. I do not know how to communicate. And what I mean at the level is, I don't know how to sit in front of a person. Maybe my best friends, yes, I can talk to them. Anyone else? I am a wreck. I am a nervous wreck, trying to talk about myself, trying to talk about my family, trying to talk about anything, especially important things, and really say what I want to say, communicate what I want to communicate, and how can I express that with ease, with maybe a certain amount of importance that I really want to get this message across, and at the same time be caring and want to hear what you have to say too. So I would be a wreck. I mean, literally like a nervous wreck trying to talk to people. I had no clue how to do it. I did not know how to communicate. I did not know how to communicate feelings. I did not know how to express myself. Nothing. And I really mean that. So, and I knew that, and I could not even think about having a relationship. I mean, like a personal partnership relationship, because I had no clue how to actually express any of those emotions that were inside of me. Like zero, none. Like, because nobody in my family ever did that. Nobody expressed themselves. There was a lot of uptightness. So I knew that that was one of the things that I had to learn how to do. And being Mormon did not help, because really, what do you have to say? It's not important. That you're a woman. Okay, the man wins. He's the one up here, and he's the top dog. We listen to him, and you're like, where are you on this scale? Maybe right here. Anyway, and I'm not exaggerating. Maybe a little bit to put a point across. Anyway, so it has taken me many years to actually learn how to communicate and be okay in front of people and just talk to them. Some people are surprised by this. When I went to hair school, one of the hardest things for me to do, and Jana, again, by the time I went to hair school, Jana had passed away. She came to me in a dream and told me to go to hair school about 3 months after she died. And I was a wreck. Anyway, and so I listened. I went to hair school, like I was signed up, like I think 3 days later. And I started, I think a couple of weeks later. I have to think about the actual timing. But it's something like that, really close. I mean, I was like, I'm going, because that's the first time I'd ever gotten like a direct message that you need to do this, because there was a lot of being lost in that scenario. So I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to communicate. So learning how to do hair and actually be with people and listen to them and understand their needs, what they want, and be able to actually do it and talk to these people and have a conversation, that was a struggle for me. And I mean a huge struggle, not a little one. And by the time I finally did start to have relationships, oh my God, I was so like clamped up, and like it's hard for me to talk about emotions. It's hard for me to actually express them to somebody personally, incredibly difficult. In fact, when I did have a long-term relationship, which was started in my 30s, every time that we got in a fight, I thought, oh, it's over, because we got in a big fight. That's it, we're done. I didn't know that people actually talk things out. I didn't know how to do that. So being able to communicate and really express myself, express my story, is hugely important and has been one of my struggles. And if you go back and watch some of my first couple of videos, it's kind of funny because I am not comfortable. So for me to actually be comfortable and sit in front of a camera and talk and hopefully be natural and express my ideas and express what I want to express, to me is like kind of a milestone. Like, I'm doing good compared to where I came from and what I had learned as a kid. Anyway, and I know we all have stuff that we carry with us that we need to get through to the other side and kind of knock those barriers down so that we actually live a more authentic life and do the things that we want to do in life. But I just wanted to share this because this is a big part of my upbringing, is not being able to communicate and wanting to express myself so clearly and just be open is one of the things that, and be authentic, is one of the things that I have wanted to do, and just share my stories because I think I have some great stories. I could be wrong, I really do. Anyway, and being Mormon is part of that part of the story of being repressed. And you don't have a story to share, you're not that important. And that's why you will find a lot of Mormon women who have YouTube channels and that they want to share their story. It's the same thing, because women are marginalized in the Mormon church. The Mormon church may say that that is not happening, that is not true. No, it is true. Yeah. They want you to just get married and have babies, and you can do other things. Anyway, I already talked about that. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. So finding your voice, finding my voice, how important that is, how we express ourselves, getting out in the world and being okay in the world, knowing that you can be who you are. Find a place for that, be authentic, and share it is so important. It's part of my purpose, just to grow in general. And I think we all need to grow. I think that's what we're doing here, is growing and learning. Hopefully we're learning along the way. That makes the lessons not quite so hard if we actually learn them. Anyway, I think that's it. I think that's my story for today. So I just wanted to share that about myself, that being a really super shy kid who was really sad, I was incredibly sad, just my journey has been to get through these things and to find a place where I belong in the world. Part of that is expressing myself, expressing my story. I got some great stories that I will keep sharing, and it's not, a lot of it has to do with mysticism and being mystical and having mystical experiences and how to be in that world so that you can have more mystical experiences, because I think it's the juice of life. It's kind of what makes life more interesting, is being in this realm where things become so personal and beautiful and enhanced because we are connected to spirit in a way. And to find that's part of what I'm doing too. But I just wanted to say, this is where I come from. This is part of my history. So I hope you enjoy this story. I hope I got my message across the way that I want to, because that's always my goal. And one of them anyway. And anyway, if you have any comments, anything to share, please leave the comments, because I think expression is super important. So please let me know how you feel about all this. Anyway, I'm a psychic medium, a healer, and I have that Mystical Ex-Mormon podcast. Anyway, I think that's it from now. And Peanut, hey Peanut, let's see if Peanut has anything to say. Peanut, hey Peanut. Oh, there he goes. Do you have anything to say? No, he doesn't. Well, that's good in a way. Anyway, I'm just going to say bye for now. Bye, everybody. Please take good care of yourself. Please express yourself in the way that's appropriate for you and to find your authenticity that is within you. We're all supposed to do that. Anyway, have a great day. Bye, everyone.